You're listening to the Mobcast Network.
Welcome to the Cult Movie Cantina.
Woo!
This is the podcast that looks at some of your favorite cult movies, introduces an alcoholic beverage.
That's me.
Shows us someone who's not seen them.
Present.
And we talk about it.
Yes, we do.
I'm your Native American pop culture spirit guide, Scotty, and I'm joined by, as always,
Your lady of libation, Stephanie.
and
You didn't do your wrong.
Oh, I'm sorry. Countess Stephanie von Falkenstein, or Frankenberry,
Frankenberry.
as what
Frankenberry,
he
yeah.
calls me.
Frankenberry.
Frankenberry.
I was like, you went
That's
really
me.
fast. Your
Countess
name's too
von
long.
Frankenberry.
And
Jestina, your jellicle jester.
she who knows no movies.
Admiral.
At your service.
Thank you, Eddies.
One day we'll have an whole audience do that. I can't wait. I'm waiting to get that next
She who
level.
knows
We,
the movies.
have our whole
Our whole thing.
Yeah. And then there's Caleb.
And then we have producer Caleb.
Hey, everybody.
We have actually on camera this time, unlike last week.
Yeah.
We had camera issues.
well,
so
we've got.
but, he was
Yeah.
a voice.
Here at the Cult Movie Cantina, we have camera issues on the daily.
Yes,
Sometimes
we
they're
do.
in a ditch.
We have a new camera.
We
I'm
do.
excited.
We have a new camera. We're testing out a Zoom camera. That's the guys who make our audio equipment. And I would.
Does that mean it's getting really close to my face?
It's actually a two-shot of you and Uncle Henry.
It's you. You guys have the
Is the
Yeah.
new camera.
Zoom Q2N 4K. That's what that's called. But it's tiny. It's like this.
Do
big.
I have a camera?
No.
Oh.
You.
No camera for my libation.
We'll figure it out.
It's okay. I pre-mixed today. It's
So
fine. It was because I knew we had guests and it would be easier.
you always get the camera anyway.
I know.
So
I know.
we're sharing this
It's
time.
fine.
You can listen to us on any fine podcast app. Wherever you listen to podcasts, we are there. Please rate, like, and subscribe. It helps us out. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/Cult Movie Cantina. We're on YouTube. You can see our smiling faces on YouTube right now on youtube.com/Mopcast Network. And we're finally on TikTok.
Tiki-taki.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
we're on TikTok.
We're on TikTok.
We are.
At Mopcast.
I don't have access to it, but it's fine.
You can send me videos. I can post them.
Am I on a TikTok yet?
Not
No.
yet, but
No.
we're going to talk about that after the show. Cause
I just want you to know that I'm always down to do any of the dance challenges.
Oh, I've got one that a friend of mine sent me for us to do.
Okay.
So we need to do it.
I'm
Uncle
always
Henry,
seriously.
Uncle Henry, first of all, do you know what TikTok is?
I do. I keep wondering, am I going to get introduced?
Yeah, he usually waits.
Am
till
I
the
just?
very
You
end.
will,
what am
no.
I here for?
You're going to get introduced.
Just have a really good seat to watch this.
Oh, by the way, also Uncle Henry's here. I was
Well,
getting,
thank you.
I was getting to that.
All right.
Anyway,
You should introduce Uncle Henry.
You introduced the camera before you introduced me.
It is
Everybody
you.
gave out their special fantasy name, and then here's the camera.
No,
here's
wait
the
a
box
minute.
the camera came
Mine's
in.
not a fantasy. I am
She is
literally a countess.
just of
I am
Frankenberry.
as well.
Falkenstein is actually
well.
what I'm.
I'm a
countess.
Scottish lord.
All right, well, good.
You're the
All
table
right,
of
good.
royalty. Is what we're saying.
We're just saying, you're with royalty is all we're saying. Just,
And what an honor it is. What an honor it is. I should know my place.
You have to introduce yourself.
I should know my place and quietly just sit
Oh, it's
while they
okay.
talk about the camera box. Look at the box.
It's okay. I'm with you. I'm not royalty either.
Oh,
we found
goodness.
you like outside the door, like in a basket. Your parents just dropped you off one day, and we just
That's
got you.
right. We adopted you. You're adopted. I don't know
His
if
parents
like,
are in the audience
right
too, which is
now.
great.
Right
Yeah.
now, Caleb, you're a serf. If you're really good, you can be elevated to a knight.
Ooh, Sir Caleb the Knight. I like it.
You
So,
also want to be a knight, Uncle Henry.
No, look, I'm too old for that. I'll just watch whatever happens. I'll just watch.
so
You could join me with the jesters.
Okay,
Okay.
as long as there can be sitting.
Yes, we said a lot.
I have libations, though.
already early and derailed. Already just derailed early.
What's next on the list?
Is there a list?
Yes, there is. I have a list. I have notes.
Maybe you should introduce our guest.
I will get there. It's on the list. Last season, we did Star Trek 2.
We did.
And I don't think you remember any of it.
Is that the one where the guy shows up at the end on the ship and I thought it was Spock and you said no, but it's a
No, that is
Vulcan?
not that one.
No, that was from the first season.
I have seen more than 2 Star
Yes, you
Trek.
have.
Yeah.
This is your third Star Trek with us.
Bollocks.
Yeah, no, it's true.
No,
No,
I
no.
got something in there for you.
I don't think that's real.
It is real.
Y'all
It
made
is.
that up.
No, the last time we saw Star Trek was Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, and our guest,
It's a shirtless guy.
Uncle Henry,
Was our guest.
was
Yeah.
there for that.
And there's a shirtless
Uncle Henry
guy.
from iHeartRadio.
Yes.
Spock
the famous
died. Remember
Uncle
Spock
Henry.
dying on the glass?
Yes,
Okay.
we're there. I thought that was the same movie as I watched the first time.
No.
No,
it's
no,
not.
that was,
I
It's
didn't realize it was two separate movies.
Yeah. Can't wait till the next Star Trek.
love
Oh gosh. Watched the fourth, but it was the third
Okay.
time I watched a movie.
All right.
None of it's in order.
It never is. Welcome, Uncle Henry.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
We're so happy that you're back with us. You being a Star Trek fan of some sorts. You've watched it as a kid, I believe.
As a kid,
Like-
no, I was an adult when Star Trek debuted, and I've watched all of what they've put out, all of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yes,
what is your opinion of Star Trek?
it's mindless entertainment. It's something that I don't have to think when I'm watching it. I like seeing good versus evil, and good wins, and they always usually guarantee that good wins. I like it. It's a bonus if there's punching, that type of thing. Ray guns, monsters.
I have a question.
Yes.
You said you don't have to think,
No.
but they constantly introduce people in different ranks and different species. You don't have to keep up with.
But
who's
see, you
good or
shouldn't
who's bad.
have
Like,
to
there's
worry
so
about
many
it. Just
things.
don't worry about
They're
that.
like, there's this person. I was like, who the hell are you? I don't know.
I'm not a fan enough that I'm going to think about it later.
That's
Like
fair.
the ranks, I can't believe he was acting that way at that rank. That's not how captains act. No. I just want to see a
Okay.
lizard guy get beat up by a human being.
Unfortunately, we made you watch this movie, which has no lizard people or fighting or.
That's right. I have strong opinions. We'll get to them.
So,
All right.
so we watched Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home,
Nice.
and from 1986.
That is correct.
Thank you. Directed by Leonard Nimoy, written by Nimoy and Harv Bennett, who
That explains a lot.
Harv Bennett had produced most of the Star Treks, and him and Nimoy got together, wrote the script. Nicholas Meyer also did some, who directed Star Trek II, did some punch up. And in fact, I'll get to that in the trivia. Stars William Shatner as Admiral Kirk, because he's Admiral. Leonard Nimoy as Spock, DeForest Kelley as Dr. McCoy, James Doohan as Montgomery Scott, George Takei as Sulu, Walter Koenig as Pavel Chekhov, Nichelle Nichols as Uhura, and Catherine Hicks as Jillian, and some other fakes, and some whales. All right, so now we're going to go to, did you have fun facts?
Kind of, yes.
All right, so fun facts, 1986.
So we've done 1986 before.
We have.
Yep.
I think twice now.
Yeah, a few
If I'm
times.
not
A few
mistaken.
times.
Doesn't matter. We've done it before. So we have not done 1986 for the video game part of it.
Okay.
So we are going to get to
Alright.
that at the end. But I have a quiz set up for the three of you.
All right, we
Okay.
have a quiz.
a quiz for the three of us, Uncle
Yes.
Henry.
The Voyager 2 space probe makes its first encounter with what planet in 1986?
Mars.
Neptune.
Pluto.
Uranus.
Uranus.
Dun-sh.
We were all very wrong.
Getting started with
Well-
some class.
Well, I can't. I'm trying to keep.
Neptune was the closest.
Uranus.
I thought Neptune would closer than Uranus, but
I wanted to say Uranus, though.
Uranus.
Exactly.
Derailed already.
In 1986, what animation studio opened?
Pixar.
Oh, that's a good guess.
It was a guess.
Yeah, I'll go with Pixar.
I have no guess.
Well, it was Pixar. You should have gone with the rest.
Cartoons. I come from an era where cartoons are for kids. An adult should know the answer to that.
I mean, I'm with you, Uncle Henry. If you listen, I don't watch a lot of cartoons.
Okay, good.
Would you guys like a question that might hurt your soul?
Yes.
Okay. On average, how much was a gallon of gas in 1986?
Oh, I know this. It would be like 80, probably 85 cents.
I'll go with 73.
I'd say $1.75.
Caleb, do you want to answer into this one?
Oh.
Was he born in '86?
No.
Then why is he answering?
I'll
Kids can learn
go.
history.
I'll go 90 cents.
It was 89 cents.
Oh, I got the
you
closest.
did. And now it's like
I remember because I was in
$4.89.
high school in '86, and I remember filling up my car.
and going, damn it, 89 cents. How am I going to
Well, it's
afford
like-
to go out later?
Well, like I remember it was like around 90 or 92 cents, but I'm like in '86 it was a little cheaper. So yeah.
When I was driving in '94, and I think it was like I remember it was a big deal because it broke $1 then, and everybody was freaking out because it broke $1.
Oh my god.
So-
I wish we could go back
I
to
wish
that.
I could have $1 gas
Word.
right now.
All right, I'm going to give you 4 movies. Which of these movies was not released in 1986?
Okay.
Okay. Labyrinth,
Mm-hmm.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Dirty Dancing, or Top Gun?
No,
I'll go
Dirty
Dirty
Dancing.
Dancing.
Dirty Dancing. 100%. It was 89.
I don't have a guess, but I'll make one. Top Gun.
I need to see that new Top Gun movie.
It was so good.
Ugh, sounds
So
like it's
good.
good. How many times have you seen it now?
Twice.
All right.
Seen it in
Dirty
IMAX yet?
Dancing.
No.
Dirty
Dirty
Dancing.
Dancing.
Very nice.
Dirty
Yeah.
Dancing is '87.
It was 89.
Producer Caleb?
I'm on it.
I can see it.
87.
I see his hands move.
87.
And I'm like, he's already
87,
looking.
really?
Yeah.
Gosh, I thought I was like in a junior when that came out. Okay,
87.
maybe it's a junior when I saw it on video, I think is what happened.
Probably so.
That's what happened when I first saw it.
So I have a question specifically for Uncle Henry.
All right.
Which of these songs was not on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1986? Papa Don't Preach, You Give Love a Bad Name, Kiss, or What's Love Got to Do with It?
You give love a bad name.
That is incorrect. Do you know who sang You Give Love a Bad Name, though?
The Despicable Bon Jovi.
I love how you did that. It was
I love
What's
Oklahoma.
Love Got to Do with It?
That's 80.
And do you know who sang that?
Tina Turner.
You're amazing.
Okay,
I
good.
feel like I'm constantly like shifting this.
He
back
is
to
in
the
radio.
side so you guys, I know
Yeah, he
that's
is in
why I
radio.
asked him that one specifically. All right. Which of these TV shows made its debut in 1986?
Okay.
The Golden Girls,
Nope.
The Oprah Winfrey Show, Larry King Live, or Full House?
I'm gonna go with Oprah.
I'm going to go with the other. Oh, gosh. It's a toss between Oprah and Larry King. When did Larry King come out?
I don't know. I mean,
Did you say I don't know to something?
yeah, yeah. Sorry, I
I'm going
wasn't.
to go with Full House. Just because
Larry King.
I like that you're just picking different.
I am.
That's usually how I play these games.
that's true.
It was the Oprah Winfrey
Oh,
Show.
look at you.
Oprah, yeah, Oprah. I think Golden Girls was a year later. or-
that's some powerful win there.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
answering the question and made it everything just blow up like Madonna over here.
I know.
How much on average would you pay for a new house in 1986? $105,000, $76,000, $92,000, or $150,000?
76.
92.
105.
All right. Well, it was $92,000.
Look at you go.
I wish we could go back to that
Unless you were in
Word.
Alabama and you were living in the ghetto.
line. Come to the ghetto. All right, I'm going to give you quotes from 1986.
Okay.
With heart, faith, and steel. In the end, there can only be one.
Oh, that's from Highlander.
Oh, yeah.
Who said it though?
That would be Christopher Lambert.
Nope.
No?
No.
Nope.
That was from the TV show.
No. it's
No.
not a movie.
No.
The
Yeah.
movie
Oh, then that's got to be Sean Connery.
That is correct.
Yeah. It'd be Ramirez.
Ramirez.
Your mic came undone.
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh, what did you
I
do?
didn't do anything.
There we go. Now it's.
Is that better?
Yeah.
That'd be
All right.
Ramirez from the Highlander.
She was so excited there could be one mic. She sacrificed hers.
I feel the need for speed.
Oh, that's Maverick and Top Gun.
That is correct.
Ask me how I know.
I don't have to. I'm pretty sure even our listeners don't have to. We all know.
Did you see it in IMAX yet?
No, I haven't. There's no IMAX in Mobile, so we haven't traveled.
You haven't traveled to Pensacola to see it?
Yeah.
Pork, the other white meat.
Sam Elliott.
Was it? I don't remember that one.
This one I don't have the specific person, but the
Oh,
yes.
no.
Well, yeah,
Sam
where the
Elliott's
commercial
it's
came
beef.
from,
Beef.
yeah.
What's for dinner? Pork is from the Pork Association, right?
Do you know Uncle Henry?
Yes.
Pork
Well,
Devil?
it was an advertising
Yeah.
slogan.
Do you,
Mhm.
do you, but from who? I don't
Ad council?
remember.
People that sell pork.
The ad council.
Tyson?
I don't know.
Is that a Tyson pork thing?
He's my favorite guest.
Why?
So we have
National Pork Board.
National,
National
Pork
Pork
Board.
I'm sorry, sir. Where do you work? I work for the
National
National
Pork
Pork Board.
Board.
Let me tell you, it's the other white meat.
it is.
Next quote. Yeah, that's the ticket.
Oh, that's from Saturday Night Live.
John
Lovitz,
Lovitz.
the habitual liar.
There you go. Look at you go.
That's a great sketch. It's a great character.
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV.
Who did that initially?
In '86.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would think that was older. Fletch.
It's got to be from like one of the hospital shows.
It's from a TV commercial with a doctor who, it's an actor who plays a doctor on TV, but I don't remember
Maybe
which
from
one.
St. Elsewhere.
How
or
to be St.
something?
Elsewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or ER.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh, yeah.
ER in '86 though.
Could have been the sitcom ER. That's E/R.
Oh.
That George Clooney was also in.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's on CBS. Ran for a season or two.
That's incorrect, but fun fact.
Thank you. Just
Okay.
random stuff. I know.
If it helps, it's for Vicks.
From what?
Vicks.
Vapor
Vicks?
rub.
Yeah.
Vicks
So
Vapor
who is
Rub.
the
Was
guy?
it Mark Harmon?
It was not.
Who was it?
Oh,
It was Chris Robinson, who plays Dr. Rick Weber
Mhm.
on General Hospital.
Hospital.
Oh, General Hospital.
All right, and then finally, to end this fun charade, what was the most popular video game of 1986?
Super Mario Brothers.
Mm,
86.
I think we've done this one.
Well, we haven't done the video
Maybe.
game.
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, you know, I'm not great at video games.
I like that you're thinking about it, though.
I know. I'm
I appreciate
thinking.
that.
I'm thinking. Zelda was later. Zelda was when I was in college. So Mario Brothers was when I was in high school. So I'm gonna have to say Mario Brothers, even though
I'm pretty sure we had Mario Brothers a couple weeks ago.
Tron
Mm.
maybe.
Maybe that was 85.
Tron was great.
That was 82.
Dig Dug.
All right.
you go.
Yeah,
First
Dig
of all,
Dug.
proud that Uncle Henry knows a video game.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking arcade. I'm not thinking
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
playing
yeah.
at
Well, see, I
home
was thinking
and
about,
becoming
like,
a useless person.
What's a Galaga? And there's all kinds of cool ones that were out.
What's the answer? What's the answer?
Oh, well, can I give my guess?
Caleb's like, wait a minute.
I think it's Zelda because the first one was out.
You think?
It is The Legend of Zelda.
Oh, really? See, I
Dun,
thought
dun,
that
dun.
was
tell
when
you
I was
about
in
The
college.
Legend of Zelda.
Dun,
Zelda.
dun, dun.
Yeah, 85.
Dun, 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 dun.
85
One
was
of the first
Mario.
real open world games had players guide Link through an outdoor maze, traveling from dungeon to dungeon. He begins his quest with only a shield and a sword, which is more than other people have, but that's fine. But
Alright.
quickly starts picking up gear, including his trusty boomerang.
All right.
Link's goal is to survive all 9 of the underground dungeons and finally take down Ganon. Once you beat the game, you make it to the second quest, a hellishly difficult remix of the vanilla game that showed us so many gamers just how easy it was to break an NES controller. Now I have concluded my
I remember buying my copy of Legend of Zelda at the Kmart in Bay Minette,
Nice.
delightful.
and it was a gold cartridge instead of the normal gray.
Fun fact: I have never played Legend of
Jeremy
Zelda.
Wife has the gold cartridge of Legend of Zelda.
Nice. I don't have mine anymore.
I got it for her
Never
a couple
played it.
Christmases ago.
It's very cool.
Not one
I think
time.
Christmas, right?
Have you ever played it?
No.
Me either, Uncle Henry.
What hour do we get to the Star Trek movie?
Thank you. That's where I'm at.
We're
Hour 2? Hour 3?
We're now starting that.
All right.
So
He's gonna have you gather around.
Oh.
so I'm doing this sermon a little different.
Okay.
He might not have us gather around.
And yeah, we'll have a gather around. But because I know and love you,
Thank you.
but I know you don't remember Star Trek 2 whatsoever.
I thought they were one movie.
Right.
So
So I'm going to do a little recap of Star Trek 2 for you.
okay.
And then since we skipped Star Trek 3 because there's a whole movie you missed,
Right.
I'm going to give you a recap of that
Okay.
and then we're going to go into the sermon.
Okay.
It's a trilogy.
Yeah.
So,
So are you gonna give the recap, or
Yeah.
should Uncle Henry give the recap?
I'm giving the recap so
Because it'd be funny.
because I wrote it all out.
Okay. He's like, I did the work already.
Right.
So I'm giving the recap.
So Star Trek 2. Admiral Kirk, his crew of the USS Enterprise, and a bunch of trainees do battle with Khan, a genetically enhanced Superman from the past who has commandeered the USS Reliant and is off to find the Genesis device, which can be used to create life on lifeless planets and destroy life on a planet that already has life.
Yeah, I don't remember none of that.
After defeating Khan, he detonates the weapon, but the Enterprise is damaged, and Spock sacrifices himself to save the ship from ultimate destruction. The crew bury Spock on the newly formed Genesis planet, and they head home. That's the first movie.
I remember the end of it.
Right.
I remember them having this tearful moment. I'm pretty sure there was a boat in a case that they looked at, a model. Yeah. That's the most important part of that whole movie, apparently.
So-
I apparently really like Vulcans.
So,
That was pretty important.
so Star Trek 3.
I didn't touch it. Apparently, I'm cutting out. It was the bottom connection,
And
not
not
this
the top
connection.
connection. So
Are we good now?
Here's the movie you missed.
Okay.
Star Trek 3.
Uh-huh.
The USS Enterprise and her crew return home, but to the news that the ship is going to be decommissioned and all the crew reassigned.
Bye.
Spock's dad shows up to let Kirk know that he needs to get Spock's soul to Vulcan for some Vulcan mystical hoodoo. Problem is that Spock's soul is in Dr. McCoy, and Spock's body is on the Genesis planet, and they don't have a ship. That's okay. They'll steal one, the Enterprise, which they do.
Okay.
Meanwhile, the Klingons, led by Krug, played by Christopher Lloyd, or Doc Brown from Back to the Future,
Okay.
finds out about the Genesis device and goes to find out more information on what could be a devastating weapon for the Klingon Empire. The science vessel USS Grissom is sent to the Genesis planet to study it. And on board is Kirk's son David Marcus, who created the Genesis device, and Lieutenant Saavik, the Lady Vulcan from Star Trek II. But now she's played by a different actress because Kirstie Alley was now doing Cheers.
And you don't have to think at all when you watch this show.
No.
Okay.
The two find out some life forms are by Spock's space coffin and go down to investigate, where they discover that the Genesis effect reanimated Spock. But now he's a small boy. Trust me, he grows up throughout the whole movie. The Klingons show up and accidentally blow up the USS Grissom. Then they beam... Yeah, oops. Then they beam down to find that the only survivors, David and Saavik... they find the only survivors, David and Saavik.
David is Kirk's son, by the way.
right.
Thank you.
Spock is growing and hits his Pon farr phase, where it's every 7 years Vulcans have to mate. And, well, there's only one other Vulcan female, and let's just say that's handled off screen.
They pon-farred.
They Pon farred hard. Had to be awkward for David, who was just kind of hanging out while that was going on.
It's awkward for me hearing you describe it.
The Enterprise shows up at Genesis, fights the Klingons, and both ships are damaged. The Enterprise is disabled. The Klingons find David, Saavik, and Spock, and Krug orders to kill one of them unless Kirk surrenders the ship. Krug orders one of them to be killed just to show us his intentions are real, and Saavik is chosen, but David, not hearing it, tries to defend her and is killed in the process. Kirk goes all, "Klingon bastard, you killed my son," before surrendering his ship. But he sets the Enterprise to self-destruct, and then he and the crew beam down to the planet as the Klingons bring aboard, and moments later the Enterprise is destroyed. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
So real quick about the Genesis planet. David used some stuff that wasn't supposed to be, you weren't supposed to use to make a Genesis device, and now the planet's unstable, and it's going to blow up. And this is also causing Spock to age super fast, so they need to get him off the planet. The crew finds Saavik and Spock. Krug beams down to fight Kirk. The other crew are beamed aboard the Klingon ship and take it over. Kirk and Krug fight as the planet is breaking apart, and Kirk knocks the Klingon off a cliff and into some lava or the planet's core or one of those things. He and Spock now beam onto the Klingon ship, and they head for Vulcan. They get to Vulcan, and McCoy and Spock go to the mountain where this Vulcan lady Dumbledore does some sort of Vulcan hoodoo and takes Spock's soul out of McCoy's body and puts it back into his and Spock's body. Spock doesn't get all his memories back, but he's getting there, and the others are just happy to see him. The end.
Okay.
So that's the movie.
That's the movie you didn't see.
That's the movie you didn't see. So that's
so
how.
that's what picks up on the fourth movie.
That's
Yep.
why. That's why
Okay.
they have a whole other ship, and
They're
That's why
also
they're-
I didn't know.
That's
they
why
had
they're on a Klingon.
Like,
That's why they're on a Klingon bird of prey.
yeah, that's why they're
the details that
exiled.
you
That's
guys
why
think
they're
are about those. I didn't. I was like, they're on a ship. Okay.
I love it. Now to brothers and sisters gather round. Here's Star Trek 4.
We're gonna gather around.
In space, where no one can hear you scream except if you are a space suppository with a whale fetish. An alien probe is zooming through the Alpha Quadrant, draining energy from everything coming near it, and is screaming in whale to whomever it wants to listen. It ends up at Earth, where it causes all kinds of problems, beaming some kind of thing into the ocean, making the clouds block the sun, causing crazy rain. It's like Mobile, Alabama, 2 p.m. in August.
Pretty much.
Earth sends out a call for help and warning others to stay away. Meanwhile, on Vulcan, where the crew of the destroyed USS Enterprise traded in their Klingon vessel for a matte painting of the thing. Do you notice that there was no model? It was just a matte painting of the damn thing.
Yep.
They got real cheap on this one.
Yeah, I know.
All the budget went to whales, apparently. They had decided to go back to Earth and face the charges for all the crimes they committed in Star Trek III, The Search for Spock. They all agree, and Spock is coming too, but he's going to wear his bathrobe. Look, they don't question it, so I'm not going to question it. It's like Vulcan pants are illogical. So they take off in their stolen Klingon ship. They have named the HMS Bounty. The Bounty heads to Earth, gets the message, and Spock figures out the probe is talking to humpback whales. But the problem is, humpback whales were hunted to extinction back in the 21st century. We're still working on it. So there's no way that the whales can speak back to the probe, so they're doomed, right? Wrong. Kirk's going to take the Bounty, slingshot it around the sun, and go back in time because that's totally a thing.
I have questions about all that.
Did you have a better idea?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Spock can figure it out, and you know what he does? And poof, they're there in 1986. So the bad thing is they've used too much power, and they can't get back home unless they get some particles from a nuclear reactor. The team goes out into San Francisco, where they split up to look for whales, look for a way to store the whales on the ship, and find those particles so they can get home. Kirk and Spock are on whale duty, and look, they find some named George and Gracie, plus a whale scientist named Jillian who knows all about whales. Problem is, the whales are going to be let out in the wild, and will probably be hunted. Oh, by the way, Gracie's preggers, like very preggers, like we missed the whole gender reveal, and baby shower preggers. She's very preggers. Scotty and McCoy go find some plexiglass to hold all the water and the whales, and since they can't buy it, they give the manager the formula for transplanted aluminum, which hasn't been invented yet. So that probably causes a time paradox, and no one ever is going to talk about it, but that's how they get their plexiglass to hold ocean water and whales. Uhura and Chekhov go to find where they keep nuclear vessels in Alameda, find the USS Enterprise, a nuclear aircraft carrier, and sneak aboard to get the particles they need. Uhura beams out, but Chekhov is captured, interrogated, and then wounded in an escape attempt, which leaves Kirk, McCoy, and Jillian to go rescue him in the hospital. Look, there are hijinks, there are complaints about medieval medicine, there's even a kidney regrown with a peel. But let's just say Chekhov is saved, and they all head back to the ship. Jillian decides she is staying because why not go to the future? They rescue the whales just in time, beam them aboard the Bounty, slingshot around the sun once more, get back to the future. They release the whales talk to the probe is all like, cool, see you later, and then leaves. Kirk and his crew have to answer further charges against them. Please see Star Trek 3. But again, but because they literally saved the world, all the charges are dropped, instead of one to Admiral Kirk. He has his rank reduced to captain, and he gets a ship because that's where he belongs. Jillian's going on a science vessel to learn about the 23rd century. She's, by the way, really adjusted well to all of this.
Right. She has no cares.
Kirk and the crew go to their new ship, which is another USS Enterprise, the A. Now we have credits.
And we never see Dr. Jillian again.
We don't, but I have an update about her in this episode.
Very nice.
Your
That's
thoughts? That was 3 movies I did. I've never done 3 movies.
Okay, so my first thought, the whole thing, even when watching the movie, is so whales have been extinct since the 21st century. How was it that Spock immediately knew, oh, that's a whale sound?
He's smart.
Yeah, but come on.
He's smart.
Come on.
He's like, that's a whale.
That's something that hasn't existed in centuries. Oh, that's a whale.
He's smart. Maybe like he just retains it. Like heard whales once.
Didn't he first say something about like they focused on the fact that the water was the target, and then they discovered it was a whale?
Right.
Yeah.
They used a little bit of process of elimination, a little bit.
It's like, I think he looked at like what could be. It was clearly sent there something that was older than man. So whales have been on the planet longer than man has, and so just pointing to the ocean, what could talk back? Whales.
Yeah.
What do you think, Uncle Henry?
I think you're overthinking it. I mean, if you believe there's another planet where people look just like us except they got pointy ears, everything else we don't question anything in it. Come on.
Yeah.
He doesn't think
I mean,
about things. He
but-
just watches it.
I mean,
Right.
we
He
just
enjoys
gotta
it.
we gotta get the story going. So they
But I agree that they came up with a solution very quickly.
Yes, they did.
yeah.
Captain Kirk saying, what would it sound like underwater?
Huh.
So, yeah.
And all it presses like 3 buttons. It's like, this is
Yes,
what it sounds like
this-
exactly underwater.
Yes, yes. So, yes.
Oh, that's a whale.
They rushed to a solution rather quickly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh.
I am waiting for thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've already talked for a minute.
Yeah.
So.
I kind of want to go last.
Okay.
I want to go last.
Okay, so my whole thing, this movie is,
Can I go ahead and say?
yeah,
something?
you go
Yes, yes.
ahead while I'm gathering what I want to say.
You can tell
tactfully.
You can tell how much they were trying to save money on this film. Literally, they're like, so what do we do to save so much money? We'll set it in the modern day, so that way we don't have to do any sci-fi stuff at past the 10-minute mark.
Right.
But at the same time, I kind of like seeing the matte painting of the ship. I thought that was like, I kind of like that type of stuff. I miss that type of stuff in films.
I don't mind matte paintings. Star Trek always is, especially Next Generation. They do a lot of matte paintings of like, here's this colony or here's this. But like the ship was a little.
I thought the ship was really well designed, and so I kind of didn't mind.
I was like, just put a model. You have the model. Just put it on the ground.
yeah,
Just put it on the ground. Put it with a matte painting or something. I don't know.
yeah.
So,
Look,
go
yes.
ahead. No, well, I was just going to say that, I like Star Trek for a lot of the same reasons Uncle Henry does. I like the, let's shoot some things, let's good versus evil, the whole thing, There is none of that really in this movie.
There's no villain in this film.
No.
It's very,
It's like the first one.
it's
First
a,
one
like a, it's like a free loving hippie film about Save the Whales. I mean, really, is what it comes down to. And even though it had some comedic points to it, I wish it had not been a Star Trek movie, because I could have done without it in the Star Trek universe.
All right, the first 30 to 35 minutes of it are way worse than I remembered. It's just
Yeah.
the first 35 minutes are awful in
Yeah.
the movie because it's all about trying to catch people up on what had happened in Star Trek 3.
Which was out like a year before.
Yeah, but
2
it's
years
still,
before.
if you've never seen Star Trek 3, you walk in and it's just a mess. That part of the movie is a mess. The time travel sequence is one of the worst time travel. I mean, they had what? Mannequins floating in space?
Right.
What happened to calendar pages coming off of a calendar? Or a clock going backward? I would prefer a clock going backward or calendar pages flying off of a calendar than heads, mannequins
Yeah.
floating in space. They could cut that entirely out of that whole time travel thing was terrible.
Could have just pulled a Superman and had stuff
The,
cycle.
The movie only becomes watchable once they arrive in the past, and then it's all Leonard Nimoy practicing for 3 Men and a Baby. It's all
Absolutely.
Yes.
it's all character-oriented comedy
Yep.
Yep.
with the characters bouncing off each other, which only will really please the fans of Star Trek, people that love the characters. Oh, I've never seen Bones and Scotty together like this. Oh, it's
Right.
fun.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine any non-Star Trek fan liking a minute of it.
No. And it was weird to me because you see all the comedic stuff between Kirk and Spock, and if you are a Star Trek fan, you know that they didn't like each other in real life. So it seems weird that they're so comfortable joking around with each other.
But the great sequences of the movie are on the bus,
Right.
the Vulcan neck pitch on the
That
bus.
was great.
Yeah, that's
Then just generally their reaction to 1986.
Yeah.
Uh,
Spock's reaction.
Maybe the most exciting scene in the movie, which is a condemnation of the movie, is the hospital scene where they're rescuing Chekhov.
Right. That was cute.
The movie's way worse than I remembered it. Way worse than I remembered it. One funny thing I noticed that I'd never noticed before watching it today was they're walking through the streets of San Francisco, and I don't know why I was looking at their footwear. Everybody's wearing like normal type shoes. Sulu is wearing giant heels.
Oh my God, is he wearing heels?
Well,
he is
he is
fabulous.
obviously quite short.
That's
Okay,
true.
I didn't know that.
And I never realized it. And then I saw everybody's wearing normal heeled shoes. Sulu was wearing almost pumps, just so he could be about the same height
Oh
Right.
as
wow, I
everybody
need to go
else.
back and watch
'Cause,
that.
you know, in-
That's one thing I noticed is you saw very little of Sulu in this movie.
He was
very little of Sulu.
he did almost nothing
exactly.
Yeah.
in the movie,
It
and
was like-
Uhuru didn't do much either.
She didn't, but I was very like Sulu was. He got a helicopter. That was it.
well, even in 3, Uhura is cut out real quick in 3. She's part of the rescue plan, but she's not a member of the crew to go rescue Spock.
Right.
She's like, I'll help you get there, and then I'll collect my paycheck and I'm out.
But it was very all character
Yeah.
interaction, and except for the beginning and the end.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't imagine a non-fan liking any of it.
So this is arguably the second most popular Star Trek film
Yes.
among fans.
Really?
Fans
Yeah.
like 2, 4, and 6.
Yeah, 2, 4, and
Yeah.
6.
G-
Like
well,
the even number.
because the rule is even numbers. Yeah.
And my exception to that is 3, because 3's not a bad film.
Which
No.
one is the one I like?
Which one?
Undiscovered Country.
That's 6.
6.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah, 6.
Undiscovered Country.
Well, 6 and 2 are directed by the same guy, written by the same guy. So
Yeah.
they're both Nicholas Meyer.
This one is not my favorite.
It's not my favorite either.
I like 2 and 6.
I like. There are scenes in it that I love. I love Scotty and McCoy at the plexiglass factory.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
That was
computer. It's hilarious,
Yeah.
funny, and how he, types and even back then I'm like, that none of that works.
Yeah.
None of that works. And I that's charming and fun. I like. I adore the hospital scene because it's
The only excitement in the film.
true, and it's almost like a Three Stooges Marx Brothers
Right.
kind of bit.
Low stakes.
Right, and you're exactly right. I didn't put it together until you said it, but you're right. Nimoy's practicing for 3 Men and a Baby.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, okay, I can do comedy. Give me this film. And I think he
I
was already
didn't know he was in 3 Minutes.
No, he directed it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
it was
had
a
no
huge-
idea.
And 4, if I remember correct, I'm sure you'll have this, but
Yeah.
it did quite well.
Oh, it was a hit.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just-
a
No,
big
I
hit.
saw the movie. It was adorable.
it's the
I'm
highest.
talking about 4.
Yeah,
I
so
was
yeah.
talking about 3 Men and a Baby.
4
Sorry.
was a hit.
Yes.
People loved the.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, the scene where they do the neck pinch on the bus.
Yeah.
Everybody talked about it.
So Star Trek 4 is the highest grossing Star Trek film until Star Trek 2009. So it's until the first J.J. Abrams one. It's the highest grossing until then. So all the other ones they did well.
How did that beat Khan?
Oh yeah, because
Increased hype from the
From
other
Khan,
movies
I
that
guess.
came
yeah,
from.
came to
Plus, they're showing them in modern day in San Francisco.
Cisco. Yeah, it's a
Oh,
whole thing.
God.
It's a whole
Okay.
thing.
Look at how the future looks at us. We're all backwards.
They're
Well.
still using money, which ruined Star Trek, I think, because that's the first reference to the past to Federation not using money, and it's been like a whole thing they've been dodging around all the shows. Like no, everyone.
Well, I remember the Ferengi had a lot of money.
Yeah,
Right.
Latinum.
right, but they're a capitalist society. Like the Federation doesn't use money, and so it's like they're like, well, then how do you interact with other groups?
That's a good question. How do you interact?
And they just choose not to. They just ignore it.
well, no, 'cause but except for on Deep Space Nine, they do get Latinum because several of the members would do bets and buy stuff from Quarks, and they have Latinum to purchase
Right.
from
It
Quarks.
depends on what works for the story.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have
So,
to.
Scotty, what did you think though? And on a rewatch,
On
did
a
you
re-
recently rewatch?
I watched it Tuesday.
Okay.
And watched it with our friend Kisa.
you
And
go.
so, by the way, Kisa gives us two Kisa's thumbs up. She loved it.
She loved it.
She absolutely loved it. And
Bless her.
It's. I think it's a fine film. I think it's a weird way to end this trilogy, which I don't think they designed it as a trilogy, but it ends up being a trilogy because
Mhm.
you've got this whole Genesis device thing, which they abandoned it for this Wales, I guess. They're key moments I love. I mean, it's an average movie at best. It's low B for me, honestly. It's got its moments, but at the end of the day, I needed a villain, needed some punch. There's, like I said, the only action sequence in the game in the movie is the hospital thing.
Yeah.
And so, and it's
Like the
it's
close.
and it's a little too silly.
Yeah.
It's so here's my thing.
I don't
So
mind silly. It's a little too
This
silly.
is
no,
right
we have
after-
not heard Jestina. She said it
That's
would
right.
surprise me.
So-
She's going to tell us it's the best.
no, she's
No.
not. I can tell you right now, she's not going to tell us that.
Are you ready?
The first 30 minutes had to make you sick.
Tell
This
us.
was my favorite Star Trek movie that I
I
have
told
ever
you.
watched.
Are you serious?
I knew it.
Like, it started and I was like, oh my God. Like, she was in the kitchen. I was like, the credits are like 10 minutes long at the beginning.
And horrible
we haven't
credits.
even started. And I was like, it's time to drink. I was messaging them, and then it
Mhm.
got started, and I was like, I actually understand what's happening. Like, I could follow it.
I got that message. It's
Yeah.
the first one she could follow.
This is
Follow
hilarious.
It. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I thought all of like the computer thing was funny, where he was like computer, and I was like, that's not gonna work. Or when they went to the hospital, they're like, here, take this pill, and she was like, they saved me with a pill, and
I grew a kidney.
like it. I really enjoyed it, but I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to like the parts at the beginning where it's like, oh, you did. I understood. Oh, you did some shit. Something happened to Spock. I don't know. They're concerned about
So
his
it didn't
brain.
matter who the characters were.
No,
for you.
like, and that's the thing is I didn't know their dynamic. So to me, it was just how they're interacting with modern day society at the time.
This is why
Spock
the movie
went
was a
swimming
hit.
with a
there you
whale.
go. That,
This
that
is why
makes
the
sense.
movie was a hit.
That makes
Yep.
sense because
A
they're
non-
Trekkies could enjoy it.
Because
Well,
I
see,
didn't have to understand who, like, where they landed within. So to me, there was a villain because the villain. Now, granted, what the hell did they need to say to the whales? Like, that will bother. There are things in the movie that bother me. Like, it shows up and it just a couple times and then left. Like, I don't. What'd they say?
The space whales were
What'd
the
they
enemy.
say? What'd they want? It doesn't matter.
They're like, "Are you okay? Yeah, we're good. We're still here."
Just wanted to make
That's
sure
all
you
they
guys were
just
still
said.
around to maintain the contract.
I will give this fun fact, this trivia bit early,
Okay.
because to answer your question, in the original cut of the film, the one they showed to audiences before the preview audiences,
Right.
there are subtitles of what the whales and the probe say to each other at the end of the movie.
Oh wow.
What did they say?
I don't know them, and
It just said subtitles?
so just and the
Why didn't you Google that beforehand?
no I looked.
Did they
yeah,
not
I looked for
release
them.
it?
I'm
Oh.
glad. I'm glad they left that out.
You're right, but
I'm
you're
not.
like Harv Bennett wanted to put it in, and then Nimoy said it didn't work, and so they pulled it out.
Well, that's
Yeah,
fair. If it didn't work,
Ah.
then I didn't want to see
Okay.
it.
So
Yeah.
I just figured they're like,
It's
"Sup?
a-
You there?
It's
Sweet."
it's that same level of over explanation for why they removed the in Blade Runner they removed the inner thoughts.
Right.
Like we don't need it.
Well, my thing was it's probably one of those like, okay, we're checking to see if everything's okay with you. Are you
Well,
still?
as human beings, well, we don't know what a whale would think.
That's fair. We can't speak.
They're
for that.
probably a lot
Right.
smarter than we are. when
But
you
the
think about
villain
it.
to me is just based on because I didn't see the third,
Sure, sure.
and my brain didn't see the second, so it doesn't matter. But something happened. Oh, and my big takeaway is that I'm an admiral with Kirk, so we're best friends. It's fine.
Well, he's a captain.
It
now.
doesn't matter. He'll come back up, I imagine. I don't know.
and
They kept saying admiral, and I was like,
in
"Look, he's an
Generations, he's
admiral."
an admiral again.
So he did something bad. He's in trouble. They're like, let's go back. We'll take Spock with us with his baby brain. I don't know what happened to him. I assume he had a concussion. I don't know. Like something happened. He's not right.
He was-
and then at some
he was
point, the other
basic-
guy was like, your soul was inside of me. And I
He
was,
was
like, "That's fucked up."
basically like reborn.
So, do you see how much I followed? Like, I know all this information. So to me, the bad guy was they had to do something to make it so he wasn't in trouble anymore.
Technically,
So it's like you got to
Spock's a
save the
zombie now.
world. So like, let's get whales and save the world.
Like a reverend,
and
like the Crow or Jason Voorhees.
yeah.
so, like that to me, that was like it had to derail whatever Star Trek is to get Star Trek back on track. Oh God, I can't.
I
believe
will
that.
say this is my husband's second favorite Star Trek. He loved it.
What's
He-
his first favorite?
It was second.
Yeah,
Khan
Sarah
with
Jewin.
Khan.
This is the best one.
It's the best one.
It's
Like
not-
Dare I say it's not because I remember nothing but the ending.
I mean, yeah, that's okay.
if you're a Star Trek fan, the second one is.
I like two. I said this in the podcast. I like two, even if it wasn't a Star Trek fan, and like a Star Trek movie. It works. It's like a.
See, that's how I feel about this one.
It
My
works.
husband loves Star Trek. His favorite series is Deep Space Nine. No, Enterprise and then Deep Space Nine.
Oh,
He
okay.
likes the whole.
I will say I thought Enterprise was on Star Wars. So
Oh.
when they said Enterprise, I was like, why the hell is that on this movie? 100% that popped up, and I was like, why are they mixing the movies? I don't understand.
That's crazy.
But that's the
I think that's
round
healthy.
one.
It's healthy not to know
For
all the
sure.
details of this nerd stuff. Shows you have
Thank
a
you.
more balanced life than others.
Now, I will say the end of this film is very Harry Potter to bring in
Yeah.
another world because we had Star Wars already in
I didn't
it
get the
now.
Harry Potter part, but okay. Explain
Because
me.
at the end they were like, you broke all these rules. but you saved us. So 20 points to
Yeah,
Gryffindor,
there you go, you're
20
right.
points to Gryffindor,
Yes, I get
20
it
points to
now.
Gryffindor. Gryffindor wins.
Okay, I get it now.
Here's your ship. The longer he kept going, I was like,
when you posted
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, when you did your little equation, I was sitting here going, Harry Potter, I don't get it. But now that makes perfect
and then
sense.
the Halo at the beginning, like
Yeah.
the beginning of this movie felt very like the beginning of Halo games. We're like, we've had all these issues
Okay,
come
so
up
I've
and all
never
this
seen a
happened.
Halo game, so I
I
don't
played
know.
a lot of them. And then it was like this journey to, I don't know, get the whales. And then
Nice.
I think
Harry Potter.
I think I got this text from you when you were watching it too, that I want to bring up.
That wouldn't surprise me. I did drink while I watched it, and that didn't happen.
Me too.
We had margaritas.
I had smoked old fashions.
Ooh.
In fact, okay, so the first, and I'll post these pictures on the episode and then put them show notes. The first one is she's sitting down, and it's her perspective watching the title credits, and it says "Time to make a drink," and then she posts a gift of Kitty from that 70 shows
yeah, I remember
drinking,
that, yeah.
and then it goes to "Oh, period, my period, God, period." Is this movie seriously all about an alien reaching out to whales? And then another picture of Kitty drinking.
It's like she made the picture and then she had to make another
I
one.
used to
It's
love
like,
her.
Oh, it's all about
I used
whales.
to love
It's
Kitty.
literally all about
that
whales.
scene of events just
Hey,
made,
speaking of drinks.
made me giggle. I just
So, honestly, it was my favorite so far. I'm not going to say it's the best because I have not seen them all. And if I watch them in order, I cannot say that it would. If I understood the story,
It might
maybe
still be your favorite.
But it was just
honestly.
fun. It was fun. I followed it. I loved all the gags. I loved that Spock went swimming with whales.
That was funny.
Yeah.
I don't like how quickly like this romance kindled in one day where she's like, "Take me with you," and I don't think you'd be given whale tours the day the whales are about to disappear. I feel like you wouldn't just be like, "Let's go." On
I
one
can see
last
them
tour. They're
doing
leaving
that.
tonight."
I can see them doing that to make
don't
money
know.
for the aquarium.
but they might have announced it, right?
Yeah.
No,
But-
not necessarily.
She also
that
must.
felt weird.
She also must not have liked Kirk that much because she never sees him again.
She just wanted to get to that time, and she had a killer suit. Like her outfit was badass. Okay,
Yeah.
she got clothes to fit her new time address.
Nice.
Again, she's super well adjusted to all of this.
Yeah, she
She's
was like, I was
all
made
right,
for
cool,
this."
aliens, sweet, no problem, cool. I'm just gonna go to the future with you.
Like,
Clearly,
surprise!
she has nothing to leave behind. She's just out. I'm just going with my whales.
So, second franchise with Christopher Lloyd in it that has a woman go to the future.
Right.
Sometimes
Nice.
you gotta do what you gotta do. Oh, just as a random throwaway comment, Kirk, that guy, sounds exactly the same today, but looks completely different younger. And I
Yes.
know his
Yeah.
name, but I can't think of it.
That's William
William
Shatner.
Shatner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like-
His hairpiece looks the same today.
It
Yeah.
does. But
I
what's
mean, it
so,
does.
so
Yeah.
funny? So if you watch the original Star Trek, he had very nice, like straight, short hair, and then when he loses his hair and he gets a hairpiece, it's very curly.
Right.
Mhm.
I didn't know
And
if
it's
he got a
like he
hairpiece.
gets like a little fro hairpiece.
It's like a perm. A
Yeah.
little
It
perm.
is.
So,
Yeah.
like, but he sounds exactly
yeah.
the
Oh,
same.
yeah, he
Yeah.
still sounds
but
the same.
His younger version of himself looks so different than his older version. That
He was good
it's
looking
kind of-
when he was young.
Yeah.
And
Like,
then
really
the
good
other
looking.
one, Takai,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
the same. He sounds
Ooh.
exactly
Yeah,
the
he-
same, but
yeah.
he looks way different too. It was just,
Well, he's older.
I know, but like they just, when you age and
Yeah.
you still look the same. Sometimes they don't. They do not. But they sound identical to their past
Right.
selves. So just we'll throw away. I'm done.
Are you ready for our libation?
I am.
Yeah.
She's brought it up. a couple
So
times. She's
who's
ready.
drinking today?
I'm not, but
I know us at the table over there. I've got Derby Wife. I have Caleb. You guys, would you like some?
are the Lockwoods drinking?
Lockwoods? Yes? No? I say no's. Okay.
All right.
So I pre-mixed today because I knew we had a guest and to save time. But I did take a picture of the ingredients, which we will upload for
Cool. Yeah,
our
we'll
people.
put on the show notes.
Yeah.
So I made a drink
So
called
excited.
Ocean Water.
Ooh.
I am going to put a Malibu topper on it.
Even better.
Nice.
So Ocean Water has, for one drink, 1/4 cup of pineapple juice, 1/4 cup of coconut water, 2 ounces of blue curacao, and 1 ounce of Malibu. So there's actually 3 ounces of liquor in every drink.
I am not mad about this beverage. And I will bring the gummy whales next time. Because I feel like it would have been a good addition.
It would have been perfect.
It would have been perfect.
Okay, while she's getting things ready.
Yes.
Which of the Star Trek films do you like?
Well, it feels redundant to talk about it. I was here for your episode on Star Trek II.
Yeah, but that was 2 years ago.
Scotty and I went and saw Star Trek II on the big screen a few years ago. Might have been 5 years ago.
Yeah, in
For
fact,
their 35th,
right,
because this is the 40th.
40th, and they're doing it again in September if you want to see it again.
I do.
Well, I would.
I do not.
I'm not ashamed to admit that when we saw it 5 years ago in the movie theater, I did weep at the death of Spock. Even though I know he's coming back in Star Trek 3.
I mean,
He comes back
swimming
a
with
baby,
whales.
from what I
Yes,
hear.
but I still, that's how much I like that movie. I,
mean,
wept openly, even though Scotty White was near me.
it's
I will.
Because that's
I mean,
kind of, we're close friends.
yeah, also it's a powerful moment.
It is.
So I mean,
Caleb,
I always cry when Dumbledore
Caleb,
dies.
you're too young to understand my mature moments here.
See, I cry when Snape dies.
So that
Oh,
would
I
be,
cry when he does,
to answer
too.
your question, that would be, I'm a big fan of 2. After that, it would be 6.
And then 4.
Maybe I'm actually thinking about revisiting the first one, which was, I've always had such irritation toward it. Maybe years have passed. Maybe it's better than I remember.
There is a new 4K cut with enhanced special effects available on Paramount Plus, and I watched it recently, and it is, while neat to look at, it is still the motionless picture.
Okay. But I'm not a real big fan of the Next Generation movies.
I like First Contact, that's about it.
So it would really be 2 and 6 would be my top.
We're going to do 6 on the podcast, so we'll have you back for 6. 6 is Klingons and Shakespeare.
I love that one.
We'll see.
yeah, that one's a good one.
We'll see.
It's what it is, literally. It's Klingons and Shakespeare, and it's
Is it Shakespeare in Klingon? Because I will not follow.
no, there's no. It's all in English, but there's Shakespeare.
Missed
and Klingon.
opportunity.
But it has,
They did make a Hamlet
in 6,
and Shakespeare
who is the
Klingon.
English actor? Is it the great English actor that's no longer with us?
Christopher Plummer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Christopher Plummer
yeah.
from The Sound of Music.
Yeah,
He's amazing.
Mhm.
Plays a Klingon.
yeah, he plays a Klingon.
I interviewed Christopher Plummer
Are those
in
creatures
Trinity's
Klingons?
bar in Mobile, Alabama.
You did?
Yes. Look for it on YouTube. Uncle Henry interviews Christopher Plummer.
I will.
He was down for a movie called Firehead.
Yes.
I had no idea.
Martin Landau also was in town for the same movie.
Right, he was in the same movie.
Yeah.
We're gonna do. Drew and I are gonna do Firehead and a couple other movies that were made down
Martin
here. by
Landau,
our show.
gigantically tall.
Oh, you're spilling.
But
Yeah, got to meet Landau in
Sorry, I was
the WABB studios.
producing.
And I was more starstruck by Landau than Plummer because I was a huge fan of the original Mission Impossible TV series.
Right.
Thank you, madam.
Why did I make an extra? I have an extra.
Becky, want? If not, I'll drink it. But you know.
If you don't have to, because one of us will take care of it.
Right, I figured one of y'all would have
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
And let me.
This
get
guy's
a
like,
good
I'll
look
take
of
it. It's like, I'll probably be getting second. So if this is an issue for
I
you,
will.
I'll take care of
I
it.
have plenty.
Yeah.
Yes.
And plenty of ice.
Is it good? I haven't tried it yet.
We'll try it.
I was going to wait. for
Jamie
you.
loved it.
There
I
we
made
go.
him a glass.
Cheers.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to the ocean water.
Mm.
That is quite
Yeah.
delightful.
It's
Thank you.
beachy. It actually is a beachy beverage.
Right?
Yep. A really good mix.
Thank you. I kind of need a paper towel,
Ooh.
but we'll handle that later. Don't look at this. Get people watching the mess I made.
I don't know. We'll figure it out later.
It's fine.
We usually have some back here.
It's okay. I'll clean it afterwards.
It's
We're
fine.
good.
We're not concerned. Here at the Cult Movie Cantina.
And we have plenty. I have plenty of ice, plenty of stuff.
Are
So
you?
come down and join us.
Yeah. Come down and join us. I made lots of ocean water.
Are you ready for some apocrypha? Because I have some.
Yes.
Yes.
Susan Sarandon was considered for the role of Dr. Jillian Taylor.
Isn't that
Well,
the
all
person
right.
that's in Stepmom or Stepmother? Or
Yes.
Yeah,
She was in the-
wow.
Y'all,
Do you know?
I actually watched like 2 movies today that I picked myself. Y'all need to back up.
Do you know
like-
that she was also in the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Yes, because she's the young one, though.
She's Janet.
Yes.
Janet. Yep.
Yeah. I didn't know the name, but yes. Damn it, Janet.
Yep.
Leonard Nimoy came up with the idea of using humpback whales after reading a book about extinct animals. Nimoy realized that their song added mystery and their size added a challenge for the crew to overcome. Nimoy previously considered a story about a disease that could only be cured by the rainforest, but decided that he wanted to keep the film stone lighthearted.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what we got.
We're talking
this
about
was something that was thought out. Is what we're
several
saying.
hundred years in
Yeah.
the future, where you can like do all these miracle surgeries, and now you have to go back in the past to the rainforest to cure disease in
Sure.
space.
He was trying to show us that we needed to change our ways because if we didn't, we wouldn't have Star Trek as a future.
Yeah.
There you
I
go.
mean, it fits the Roddenberry logic.
I don't like that kidney pill. Just put it in my back
Speaking
pocket.
of Roddenberry, Gene Roddenberry was initially pleased to hear that the film would be a time travel story, as he had been pushing for such a plotline in one of his films. Roddenberry had long wanted a story in which the crew traveled back in time in an attempt to stop the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, but Harve Bennett felt such a story would be anticlimactic, with the audience knowing such an historical event could not be undone. But, you know, Quentin Tarantino killed Hitler in
Inglourious Basterds.
So, spoiler alert. So, according to George Takei, when McCoy, Scotty, and Sulu are standing in front of the building with a yellow page advertising, a door opens up and an Asian woman appears. The scene in the film ends at the point, but originally the woman was to begin shouting for a young boy named Hakiru, who would run into Sulu. Sulu would then realize that it's his great, etc. grandfather. The young boy was hired for the scene, but he began to cry on set before this scene was shot, and were unable to get him to do the scene.
Oh,
With no one to replace him, so the scene was never shot.
that's sad.
That's why we had no Sulu in the movie.
That's it.
This also happened to him in Star Trek 3 and Star Trek 2. He had extra scenes. And 2, they were cut because Shatner wanted them cut, allegedly. And 3, they were just cut. So he had bigger parts in both films, but this keeps happening to him. It's a trend.
Is it because of his preferences? And back in the 80s, that was
Well, his
not.
preferences
Could it
were-
have been the Michael Dorn thing that he wasn't pleasant to work with?
There has been rumors of that too. So
Really?
yeah.
Now, Michael Dorn's an asshole. I've met him. I've got stories
the
about
language
Michael
on your
Dorn.
podcast.
I'm sorry.
You know, they didn't tell me when that it was going to be,
Wait,
R-rated.
wait.
Uncle Henry, we're an explicit
you've been-
podcast.
yeah,
Well, I don't need to be on explicit podcast.
you were on the show a year ago.
But you didn't cuss up a storm about Smokey and the Bandit.
You know
I'm
what?
so
You know what's
sorry.
funny? We've actually toned it down for this episode.
We have.
Well,
I have
because of our
not-
guest-
God bless
That
you.
was
Well,
only
thank you
my-
for that.
That was my
Yeah.
first bad word.
I've already said the F word.
She
Have
said
you?
the F word.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, did you notice that? Because I said our one token F
I
word.
skipped it. No, we have more than one now. We're
Yeah, we're
explicit. We
explicit.
can say them all day long now,
Usually
but
we
I've been
get the
good.
one and we're like, all right, there it
Used
was.
to, we could only say one because we were, PG-13 or whatnot.
I've never paid attention to our ratings.
But
I
now,
just assume he
now
cuts around us if he needs
Scotty changed us to explicit because we couldn't
We can't
behave.
I
behave.
can't get them.
We
No.
couldn't behave.
Here's
I
my
believe that.
to. I apologize, Uncle Henry.
That's-
I'll
look,
tone it down for you.
That's okay. You're
I'm
not.
sorry.
You're not as familiar with me.
I'm
she
sorry.
should know better.
I
she
know.
should
I'm
know,
Yeah.
so
so
sorry.
I will tone it down.
He's not
God
a
bless
nice
you.
person,
Thank you.
Uncle
You're
Henry,
welcome.
is all I'm saying. He was not a nice person when I
Michael
met him.
Dorn.
Michael Dorn was not a nice person when I met him.
Okay.
and Michael Dorn now will never be on this podcast.
He was, well,
Prove
that's
us
right.
wrong.
He doesn't deserve to be, until he apologizes to me.
Ooh.
He
You know,
should not be
it
on our
might
podcast.
work. Playing a Klingon. You might need to be an unagreeable person
He was
to really get
not
into
a
that
Klingon.
character.
He was himself, and he was signing autographs, and he was very ugly. When I went and had this, my very favorite special edition Worf 12-inch figure signed by him, because I was so excited about him, and he was ugly. So, there.
He was just dismissive. He wasn't. I mean,
Dismissive
Well,
is
I've always
ugly.
wondered why they didn't give him more to do. I thought he was one of the most interesting characters. Would love to have seen a show around him and his family.
Well,
Never could figure out why they didn't want to do it.
Um,
Maybe that's why.
He was my favorite Star Trek character until I met him in person.
who's your favorite Star Trek character now?
If I had to pick one,
Mhm.
it'd be Garrick.
Garrick is great.
Worf has two emotions that he uses on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Anger and confusion.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Anger and confusion. You are not
yeah.
wrong.
I'm not wrong.
Kirk is my favorite.
And is
Good.
I'm a Riker fan.
Cisco.
Oh, really?
Cisco, but like, you know, gun to the
Because
head.
you're kind of like you're a number 2 over there.
Yeah,
Aren't they called red
but I
shirts?
do all the work, so you know.
Well, I mean number 1. You're
Yeah,
a
yeah,
number
yeah.
1
Number
over
one.
You had it right, Uncle Henry.
No, I didn't mean it. I wasn't being scatological. I wasn't being scatological.
Well, I now know what the
I
clip
didn't
is
think
gonna be
that,
for this week.
but
But
see what I
if-
have to deal with.
If,
This is.
if Scotty is Picard,
Wait a minute.
then he's clearly Riker over there.
Oh, wait a minute. We have been struggling with finding a nickname for Caleb for this podcast. It is
He's
now number 2.
scatological?
It is now number
Oh.
2.
Sorry. I didn't mean, Caleb, I owe you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that to happen.
It's okay. It's not your
I
fault.
thought of you as number 1.
It's not your fault. It's them.
Picard didn't get into fist fights. He would just say, number 1, go beat his tail.
Yeah.
All right. What?
So you got more facts?
Yes.
Look at
Apocrypha.
Caleb
On
trying,
that,
Mara.
trying to change the
we
subject.
should probably play Screw, Marry, Kill on this note.
Hey, no.
That's coming after my trivia. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Here's my favorite part of my favorite apocrypha.
Okay.
The film was originally supposed to have Eddie Murphy instead of Catherine Hicks
What?
Yep.
Murph-
For who?
for the
As
the
the-
whale specialist.
Eddie Murphy?
Eddie Murphy.
What a terrible idea.
Eddie
Him and
Murphy.
Kirk would have hit it off. They
Eh.
would have been lovers.
I mean, he hits everything else.
That's
Why
true.
not?
Eddie Murphy is a huge Star Trek fan.
Yes, he is.
Mm-hmm.
And was in talks for doing this. The script was different at the time, though. Murphy was supposed to be a professor concerned with UFOs who spots the decloaking Klingon warship at the Super Bowl. Apparently, all others are convinced that the ship is a halftime special effect, and while Murphy believes it's real. Paramount declined the script for 2 reasons. They did not want to combine their 2 most profitable franchises, Star Trek and Beverly Hills Cop.
Mm-hmm.
And Murphy had signed to do The Golden Child, which came out the same year instead.
Maybe somebody had also watched Superman 3
Yeah.
and realized that was not a good idea.
That was not a good idea.
Well, it all worked out for everybody's favor.
All right, bar trivia time.
Here's you some ice. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Thank you.
She looks like she needs a refill.
So we talked about
Put some ice in your cup.
a little bit about the scene between Kirk, Nimoy, Kirk, Spock, and the punk on the bus.
Right.
So the punk is played by Kirk Thatcher, who is a puppeteer, an artist, a special effects master. He's been involved in tons of films, and he was just kind of helping out on this movie, and he ended up because of his look got the punk part because they just needed someone to put it. This scene was designed real after the script was written. They just kind of added this in. It was a cut scene from Nicholas Meyer's film Time After Time, and so which is a film about H.G. Wells hunting down Jack the Ripper in modern times. And so he had the scene where H.G. Wells would encounter a teenager with music blaring from a boombox, and so they changed it to this. The music that the punk could listen to is written and sang by Kirk Thatcher, so it's his own music.
Oh, that's great.
That was great.
He also did so much extra work on the film, that he got bumped up to an associate producer.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
So he got paid more.
Good for
It
him.
was shocking.
Nice.
You know, it was shocking for Star Trek to have somebody flip the bird. He flips Kirk off.
Yeah,
He does.
flip
He does.
Can you imagine flipping Kirk off?
Spock took care of it.
Yeah.
He put
He
him to
did.
sleep. He went
Probably
bang,
one
bang.
of my favorite lines, though, is the when Kirk's like double dumbass. on
Yeah,
you.
the cursing
Yeah.
in this is hilarious.
It was
Yeah.
funny.
Because I like Spock.
Spock's trying
you
to
like
figure
some
it out.
vodka?
He's like, how does this work?
just a lot of hells. It has-
It's like, how about you not? How about you not?
Yeah,
You don't
you're
quite-
bad at
you
it.
don't quite have it, so I'll just do it.
I mentioned this earlier, but as the alien probe approaches Earth at the film's beginning, it emits a sound wave that Spock determines to be an attempt to communicate with humpback whales. After the first test screening, it was suggested by of Harv Bennett
Thank you.
that they would create an on-screen subtitle to translate the sound, which suggested, "Where are you?" Nimoy and Nicholas Meyer insist that any explanation of the whales would be ruin the sense of mystery. So no subtitles were used. Shatner was originally reluctant to return to the Star Trek franchise. Leonard Nimoy and Harve Bennett considered making a prequel about the characters in Starfleet Academy, which eventually became Star Trek 2009. Eventually, Shatner was offered a pay raise in order to convince him to return. As a result, Shatner and Nimoy's raise salaries, Paramount Studios had to lower the budget of its new series, Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh wow.
Why did he
Hey.
not want to come back?
Well,
He-
I heard, sorry to interrupt,
No good.
but I'd always heard that Kirk used this as a way to force them to let him direct the next one.
Fun fact: he was supposed to direct this one.
Really?
So because there was a reciprocity clause in his contract and Nimoy's contract, Nimoy was going to direct 3, and Shatner was going to direct 4. But Shatner couldn't direct 4 because he was busy filming T.J. Hooker. So Nimoy films this one, and then they give him 5.
So do you think William Shatner really didn't want to do this movie? Because he's T.J. Hooker.
No. Look,
Who would pick T.J. Hooker over a big movie?
I'm like saying,
Right.
well, where's the T.J. Hooker movie? I mean, to
Right.
answer your
Yeah.
question, I think by the way, T.J. Hooker is a cop show that was in the 80s.
Thank you.
I
I
was-
wasn't sure what was happening.
And not particularly well regarded.
None.
It was not good.
the-
Was he like in it or he directed?
He was
No,
the
he
main
was
character.
T.J.
He
Hooker.
was
T.J.
T.J.
Hooker.
Hooker.
TJ, yeah.
You can call
A very cocky
Hooker,
macho cop
T.J. Hooker.
And like
with Heather Locklear.
Heather Locklear was in it as well. Yeah, and the big joke about the show was that he'd often like jump on hoods of cars.
Yeah.
And that was, in fact, it was such a trope they made an SNL bit.
Yep.
And so,
Like he just go around jumping on hoods.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's how he would defeat the bad
So
guy.
he was supposed to direct it.
He was supposed to direct 4. He's busy doing T.J.
He
Hooker.
could never have handled it.
Of course not. And it'd have been a different movie anyway because Nimoy's working on this whale script, and Shatner's not thinking about whales.
No.
There would have been a
No.
lot more women and
right, women and things
And
for
fights.
and yes, Shatner to beat up. I mean, that's what it would come down to. But so I like the fact that they had to pay Shatner and Nimoy so much that it lowered the budget of the first season of Next Generation.
Oh
But
my
I-
God. Well, I mean,
But
that
again,
explains
why did he
the
want to
first
come
season.
back?
Hmm?
Why did Shatner not want to come back?
He did.
I
it's
think
not.
I think it was a
Negotiation.
negotiation ploy.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
He
didn't
was-
know
trying to get more
something
money.
happened in the
No.
way
No, he
that
was
got in
bucking for
trouble
more
and
He was trying to
everything.
buck for more money.
He was
It's-
bucking
yeah.
for more money.
Just curious.
It's the usual actors trying to get
Yeah,
more money.
and that's fine. I didn't know if there was draw. I want sip the tea.
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all are gonna have some tea brewed over here too.
The computer that Scotty uses at Plexicore appears to be a Macintosh Plus. It was on loan from Apple,
Nice.
but the graphics that it shows were designed on a PC.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
do you guys remember your first computer? Like my first computer was probably around that time. It was a Commodore
not alive.
64.
I didn't get mine
your
till
first?
90.
Commodore 64.
My first one, I got mine for a graduation present from high school. It was so that was May of '95. It was a compact Presario.
Okay, so you had a real computer.
I sure did.
Yeah.
My
With-
first
with
one was
Windows.
I mean, it was a computer.
I
for our
remember
time.
my dream computer. I wanted those apples that were clear with the color.
Oh yeah,
Like that was my dream
Yeah.
computer.
Yeah,
that was
DOS.
like
It
the
was all
cool
DOS.
thing to have when I was a kid.
So,
we did not have that.
So the Abacus. What was your first computer?
I don't remember the name, brand, or anything, but I remember buying the computer. Then I got sick with diverticulitis, and I was in the hospital.
Oh jeez.
And I was laying in the hospital watching the news when they were announcing this brand new computer chip development. That all the other stuff, this is the fastest.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, I just bought a computer, and they've come out with the next.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was
and that's
what
when
I,
it started.
Yeah.
what I had bought was obsolete before I started using it.
And now,
That's what I
now,
remember.
now it's every week. It's obsolete.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You just
When they sing, humpback whales move into an upside-down vertical position, as correctly depicted in the film.
I wasn't sure what that was.
After hearing the humpback whale's response, the alien probe also moves into the same position and replies.
Oh, how nice.
So if you watch it, it turns.
I saw that they did that. I just wasn't.
I
sure what
did
was
not pay
happening.
attention.
That's
to that.
why. Leonard Nimoy provided the low whoop 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 sound that the cigar-shaped alien probe makes while flying through space. The sound effects editor had come up with several possibility sound effects for the probe, but none of which Nimoy liked. Finally, he asked, "Well, what do you think the alien probe would sound like?" Nimoy thought for a moment and then did the whoop, 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 whoop sound. So they said, "Okay, let's use that." And then he stepped into a recording booth, recorded that, and then the sound effects guy added whale sounds and lowered the voice. And so that's literally Nimoy going whoop, 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 whoop.
Now I want to go back and listen and see if it sounds like a guy going whoop, 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 whoop.
The restaurant scene was filmed in an actual restaurant that did not have a pizza oven. But because of the characters ordered pizza, Paramount bought and installed a pizza oven to make the kitchen more believable.
Nice.
The oven was given to the restaurant after filming was complete. But after all that effort, the oven is only visible for 5 seconds in this film.
I mean,
She ordered the grossest sounding pizza too, by
Yes.
the way.
what
Thank
did she
you.
order? What kind?
A large mushroom with pepperoni and onions. Correct? I'm looking at you
Yeah.
because you were like, "Oh, that sounds delicious," and I was like,
that
"That is
does
the
sound
worst
good. I mean, I'm
sounding
like,
pizza."
I would totally eat that pizza.
No.
Yeah.
Mushroom, pepperoni, and onion.
Yes,
Do you-
all day long.
That's an
That's pretty-
outstanding combo.
Yeah,
that
No.
would be
Yeah,
You
that's
guys
amazing.
good.
can all see yourselves out. All
What's
of you.
wrong with it?
Mushrooms, for fungus to start with, and then you
Okay.
got the devil's flower. We got onions on there.
That's so good. I love devil's flower is what you call that?
Yes, because green onions have beautiful flowers on them when they grow, so they're the devil's flower.
Why are they devils when onions are delightful? I don't
Onions
understand.
are one of the worst things ever created. In
Do you know
life.
how healthy onions are for you?
Do you
though?
know how
Do you know how many vitamins are in
disgusting
onions?
And the devil, an
What,
onion
what
is.
is your what causes the disgust with onions?
I don't know, but I am
The
telling
smell?
all of it. Like I don't like the smell, the taste, the texture. Derby wife can come home from work and she'll kiss me and I'll be like, "You had an onion
Okay,
today."
let me
And she goes,
let me
"No, I
ask
didn't."
Derby
And then
wife.
she sits there and she goes, "Oh
Der-
yeah, I did."
Derby wife's a chef, so I need to ask her, what is the 2 ingredients in the base in almost every dish? Or garlic. That's it. Onions and celery or onions
I don't
and garlic.
care. Guess what is not in the
There, 'cause
base
it's
of my
amazing.
foods? Onions or celery. I'll use garlic. Thank you.
Scotty, you're anti-onion.
I'm not anti-onion. I'll eat an onion.
I
but
love onions.
I
I
mean,
will cook with an onion and take it out. So I guess in that regard, like if it's integrated in a dish, it's fine. But no.
So you're still getting the flavor.
Pardon me, I've got.
But
I've-
it's not like as strong. If you eat an onion in terms of just cooking with it, it's a different flavor. It's a
Just-
very strong
I love
flavor.
pickled
if you
Christina,
eat
onions.
it.
wanna
I will
tell
eat
you a
pickled
personal
onions.
Please
story.
do. Please do.
This is very brief.
Okay, and then I'll tell you
Yeah.
mine.
Take all the time.
I had a great grandmother that lived to be 100 years old. And when she was in her late 90s, I asked her, "What is your secret to long life?" And she said, "I eat an onion every day." The way she ate an onion,
Was it raw?
it was like you would eat an apple.
No.
She would take an onion and she would bite into that onion just like you'd bite into an apple.
Did she have many people to kiss her?
I don't believe any of us got near her.
But she
But-
lived for a
so-
long
She
time.
She lived to be 100. She also loved to listen to the radio at night, and she would lay in her bed with a radio on her chest, aimed at her head, blasting at full volume because she was hard of hearing.
Could she feel the
Nice.
vibrations?
No, because it was like near her ears.
No, but if the radio was on her chest, maybe that was a comforting feeling.
It may have been that, or it may have been sonically pushing the onion off of her teeth.
Like she needed that so that she
Maybe.
didn't also
Maybe.
taste it.
But anyway,
I just want you to know that Betty White said it was vodka, so I'm going to go with that.
No, she
Vodka
said
and
vodka
hot
and hot
dogs.
dogs. That's right, vodka and hot dogs.
Scotty,
You
where
can't
we-
do hot dogs.
See, I love hot
Where's the
dogs.
show?
I'm
So-
going to live longer than you because I'll eat
I
hot
will
dogs
say,
and onions.
I moved my mom in. My mom recently passed away, but I moved her in when I was taking care of her. And my mom has the exact same thing with onions. And I didn't realize how strong it was.
She
Except
would eat them?
No, where she just like we go places. She's like, "Is there onions? No onions. Please
Genetic.
don't put onions in it." I'll be making something, and from across the house, she'd be like, "Are there onions in it?" Yes, Mom. I'm putting onions in it.
So you're saying it's a family
Yes,
curse?
probably.
All right. It's a family curse.
I love onions.
They're
And hot
disgusting.
dogs.
I have gotten better
And vodka.
about cooking
Strangely,
with them
there's no vodka
if
in
they're
this drink
needed,
this
and
time.
then making them big enough to take them back out. I understand their importance. They're the devil's flower.
The devil's flower.
I could think
That
of
should be a
other
t-shirt.
plants
Or a
that are
band
the
name.
devil's
We're the
flower.
devil's flower.
There's a whole kinds
Hello,
of
Cleveland.
There's a whole list of poisonous
And do
plants
you know what's
that
at the
would
top?
be the devil's flower. Not onions.
Onions.
They are not poisonous.
They are
Caleb,
the
Caleb,
devil's
have you ever
flower.
had an onion?
Yes.
Did you eat it like an apple? Then dare I say, have you had an onion?
I eat raw. I eat my green onions raw. Like we like.
Caleb, do
growing
your
up,
parents put onions in smoothies?
No.
Okay.
That would be blasphemy. So you would have to see yourself out. I'm sorry, but if you did,
a biscuit,
Welcome to the
brown
real
gravy,
onion
and
talk.
onion smoothie.
Right here on the Mopcast Network.
Sounds
we are not
delightful.
supported by
Scotty, where are we in this podcast?
So the USS Enterprise, the USS Enterprise CVN-65, or the aircraft carrier, was actually the USS Ranger CV-61. The real Enterprise was out to sea during filming, so they just had to replace it.
All right.
Leonard Nimoy had said that this film when the film first came out, whales rights activists caused an uproar. Groups believing that the effects and models portraying the whales were actual footage, and that actual whales were held in captivity or filmed too close to their habitat.
Oh my gosh, the whole movie is essentially saying, hey, take care of the whales, and they're upset because whales weren't taken care of.
No, they thought the whales were all real.
Exploited. They thought the whales were exploited.
And there's like, no, they're not real whales. They were special effects.
But thank you. That's like the best compliment,
Right.
though.
The film bores the dedication to the cast and crew of Star Trek wish to dedicate this film to the men and women of the Spaceship Challenger,
I saw
whose
that.
courageous spirit shall live to the 23rd century and beyond. The Challenger disaster happened a few months earlier.
Yeah.
While it's widely thought that Admiral Kirk was the biggest offender in breaking Starfleet's temporal laws, the honor should go to Chekhov. Before escaping the naval officers, he threw his phasers at them, he left his communicator and Starfleet badge ID.
Yes, he did.
None of these items were ever retrieved and would have caused a major temporal paradox. At 1 hour and 46 minutes, the last sound made by the alien probe as it turns away contains the English words, "I'm sorry," and monotone in the lower frequencies.
I'm sorry.
I list that up. That's true.
I'm sorry.
At 1 hour and 1 minute into the film, when Dr. McCoy hands Scotty the computer mouse, it's one of the few times James Doohan's missing right middle finger is visible in the entire franchise.
Oh, I didn't know he had a missing finger.
The finger was shut off during the invasion of Juno Beach on D-Day.
Oh, I didn't realize he was military.
Yeah, yes.
That's awesome. I mean, not awesome he got his finger shut off, but, you know,
But he's
thank him for his service before he passed. Because, wow, that's a thing.
When Spock takes the test on his homeworld, there are questions that ask, what were the principal historic events on the planet Earth in the year 1987? The answer is not heard, but you can see the two answers written by Spock. The answers are this: computers cloned from carrots, and the New York Times is the last magazine to close doors. The computer then answers correct.
Nice.
So those are two things that did not happen. That was supposed to be written. I'm trying to find out some. Jane Weedland of the Go-Go's
Yep.
is in this movie. She's a communications officer on screen.
Oh, okay.
And let's see. There's one other thing I want to talk about. So I want to bring back Saavik, who is the Lady Vulcan. There was a scene cut. We're not sure if it was filmed or not, but we know it was in the script. And I've heard both ways that it was. So there was a scene written or written for but deleted from the film explaining why Saavik stays on Vulcan. It's because she's pregnant with Spock's child.
What?
Because they pawn farted in the last movie, and she says Spock saved us all, and you're thinking like her and but she's talking about the baby.
Huh.
So
I never knew Spock had children.
well, they cut scenes, so of course they didn't do anything
Okay.
with it. So, and I had one.
Spock and his dad look like the same age, but one has darker hair.
Well, that's because Vulcans live for a very long time.
They're
They age
identical in
very
age.
slowly. They
All right.
age very slowly.
So screw, marry, kill.
All right. So screw, marry, kill. I know.
That's a sick thing to do. on your podcast.
But we're all going to play anyway.
I won't.
That's all right. He can sit out.
So the people I've chosen for screw,
Please.
marry,
Okay.
kill.
First of all, please no whales.
No whales. No,
Because she'll do that to us. She'll be like,
No.
yeah, and here's a
I'm
whale.
not. I'm not. I'm even going to go first because there's a reason why I picked these people.
Of course there is.
I picked Kirk, Spock, and Scotty. And the reason why, because I was
Gotta
thinking,
go die.
no, let me tell you. So I would screw Spock because I'm very curious about this Ponfar stuff.
It's every 7 years, though.
It doesn't matter.
Wait.
I
She'll
feel
wait.
like if it's I feel like if it's every 7 years, it's got to be fantastic for you to like be able to last.
See the
for
show.
7
It's,
years.
if you ever see the show, it's very aggressive.
Thank you. Exactly. I'm gonna marry.
You're making Uncle Henry uncomfortable. I love it.
I'm gonna marry Scotty because if anything in my house breaks, he's gonna fix it easily. Like he is the best handyman ever. I mean, he hands down will be able to handle any kind of home repair without any
Yeah, he
problems.
can handle a honeydew
Yeah.
list.
That's what I'm saying. And Kirk, I feel like he causes more problems than he's worth, so he's gone. He's out, in my opinion.
I will kill Spock.
Careful.
Because I ain't got time for that. No logical. I gotta have some. Kirk has proven that he's a capable lover, so I will screw Kirk, and then of course I have to marry my namesake. So the Scotties would be together.
The Scotties. Okay.
I genuinely have no idea what I'm going to do.
Look at Uncle Henry. He looks
Caleb?
so disgusted.
I feel like I'm on the same team as Scotty.
Yes!
Yeah.
For same reasons?
Yeah.
See, I'm just curious about the pond fire. I'm sorry.
Nothing wrong with that. Curiosity killed them.
Yeah.
Sugar.
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 I don't know what's funnier, you hesitating or the look on Uncle
Oh,
Henry's
Henry's-
face.
It's just disgusting. And you even got Caleb's in front of his parents talking about this.
They're okay with it though.
Well, that makes it even sicker. That's what's wrong with modern America.
So,
You know, the longer
you gotta pick.
the longer you hold out an answer, the worse it's gonna get for.
I know, but I can't decide. So on instinct, I want to say I would marry Kirk because I feel like
You know he'll cheat on you.
That's
Yeah.
not
Shit.
true.
It is true.
That's not true.
sugar.
Uncle Henry,
They have ethics. They have ethics.
has
Starfleet Academy
relations.
teaches ethics.
he has relations with every single female he
But
encounters.
he's unmarried. He's unmarried.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
take
For
that.
a reason.
I'm gonna take that, and we're gonna get married. I'm gonna be the reason he settles down.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you're gonna be his Karamarcus.
This is
Yeah.
all
I mean,
wrong.
so-
They may
Kirk and I-
teach ethics at the academy, but
Hey,
how often
Caleb-
does Kirk follow them?
Come on, Caleb.
So Kirk and I are gonna get married.
Your galaxy
Okay.
sends
Kirk and you're
Alabama.
gonna get married.
So I don't know if I want. I don't know if I'd have. I don't know if I would screw Spock because if he does it once every 7 years, how experienced is he? He's probably not very good at it.
But he might be. He lives for hundreds and hundreds of years. That's a lot of sex. when you
Well,
think
I
about it.
heard the movie before he was a baby, so he's gone. Bye. So I guess Scotty and I are gonna do it.
I'll go with
There you
that.
go. And you're gonna kill Spock.
Apparently he fixes things. So
I mean, it's okay if we kill Spock. He'll
He's
come
an
back.
engineer.
See, I can't. I just can't kill Spock.
bye,
All
Spock.
right. Are you sure you don't want to play?
Are you done with this segment?
Yes,
We are
done
done.
with the second.
The smut?
It's
We're
just
Phil
done
said-
with the smut.
Phil
We're
said-
done with the smut.
Ugh. It wasn't like this. When I was here for Smokey and the Bandit, there was nothing like this.
That's true.
Nothing like
yeah.
this.
We've added it.
We added it.
Well,
Actually,
when I come back, if I'm ever invited back, delete that part.
I don't know. It's kind of fun to watch you squirm. It's entertaining for the folks. Caleb mentioned earlier that Jillian just kind of Dr. Taylor. She goes off and she leaves Kirk and there's no more.
Right.
We no more see her, and that's true in the films.
I love her. We no more see
yeah.
her.
How,
No more see her.
however, there are comics and books
Oh,
about her.
that doesn't count.
Yeah, that's the
No.
That's
Are they
memory,
canon?
That's,
Count.
that's
Are they
memory.
canon?
That's memory beta.
I
That's
just want to
memory
know:
beta?
are they canon?
Memory beta is not canon.
but I thought it was interesting, so I'm bringing it up
Okay.
because it's silly.
Okay.
So after this movie, she becomes the inaugural patient of the Federation Department of Temporal Investigations, their temporal displacement division. So like she shows
The
up,
Umbrella Academy.
right? So she shows up and like, well, crap, we got to make a whole new division for you, and so so they do that.
So she's the head of that secret group in the Umbrella Academy.
No, she's the first patient they examine.
Oh, there you go.
And 2286, which is 2 years after the this movie, she went with Kirk on a boat trip for a month while examining dolphins, and witnessed the birth of the whales. George and Gracie's their baby,
What'd they name it?
Harpo.
Of course they did.
Prior to the trip, she spoke with his crew about his many missions and how he was a spectacular kisser.
I'm sure.
After this, she went to working for the new Cretaceous Institute, which she held the position which she held most of her time. And then here's where it gets weird.
It's just now getting
yeah,
weird?
40 years, about 40 years later, she headed an oceanographic study aboard a drift station on a planet, the planet Pacifica. On her team was Harpo, the son of George and Gracie, who had enrolled in Starfleet Academy.
Oh, no, he did not. There's not a whale in Starfleet Academy.
There are 2 whales in Star Trek Lower Decks, and there's a Cretaceous area on the Enterprise in Next Generation.
Which
Okay, I
Lower Decks is
watched-
canon, so
I watched Lower Decks. I don't remember the whales.
The whales are in the 2nd season, and they're hilarious.
Okay.
Star Trek has a mirror universe. And so there is a mirror universe George and Gracie story.
Oh, God.
The 2 whales are brought back by the crew of the ISS Enterprise, which is the mirror universe version, to interact with the alien probe, and were transformed into huge armored leviathans who then traversed the tsunami-swept oceans, destroying entire coastal cities. After Spock found a way into the probe, shutting down his computer, the whales were left vulnerable to phaser fire and were subsequently destroyed by the Enterprise.
I want to be in the mirror universe.
Oh,
I really do. I want to be like under
fit there.
Lorca's command in the mirror universe.
So about the probe, so after this movie, a year later, the crew of the USS Enterprise A finds the probe again, and during a joint Federation Romulan mission, the 2 parties were able to open a dialogue with the probe, which had been uninterested in human life, seeing them as mites.
Oh, delightful.
So that's what's up there.
Wow.
It looked like a large cigar.
This movie was nominated for 4 Oscars.
No, it was not.
It was.
It's because it was the best.
That is hilarious.
I mean
For
they're
what?
probably all
Please
all
tell me for
Viz
what.
stuff.
It did not win any of them, but they were nominated for 4 Oscars. It was nominated for Best Cinematography.
Okay, I get that.
It lost to The Mission.
Okay.
It won for. It was nominated for Best Sound.
For the whale sounds?
That's probably so. Maybe no. Actually, probably sound recording for everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be
Yeah.
for everything.
Not
It lost to Platoon.
A Platoon
Oh,
was great.
Yeah,
Well, Platoon won the Oscar that year for the Best Picture.
yeah.
It was a great movie.
It lost Best Sound Effects Editing to Aliens,
Okay.
Okay, I could see that.
and then it lost Original Score to Around Midnight. But Herbie Hancock made that. So
I've never even heard Around Midnight.
It's a Herbie Hancock thing.
I don't know who that is.
He's a jazz
He
guy.
did.
I feel like I know that song, but
Yeah, that's Herbie Hancock.
okay.
And it had robots in it. Not robots, but mannequins. Do you remember that video, Uncle Henry?
Unfortunately, yes.
The domestic gross of this movie was $109 million. They did pretty well.
What
Get
was
it?
the budget?
You're not
I
having
don't have
us
the budget
guess
on
this
it.
time?
Oh no, we're gonna have guesses.
Okay.
It released on Thanksgiving weekend, 1986, November 28th through the 30th. Where did it land
Number 1.
in the top 5?
2. Oh, what weekend?
Thanksgiving weekend.
See, I don't remember what came out that year. Opening weekend, I'm going to say 1.
1.
Yeah.
Top 5. Where do you think it fell?
1.
1. Caleb,
I'm also thinking 1.
it is number 1. So,
Unlike Caleb.
so do you want to go from 5 to 2?
Yes.
Number 5 is a sequel starring Tom Cruise.
Only Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise crazy.
Hold on.
Impossible.
No, it's a sequel.
I'll give you another hint in a minute. But
Hold on. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise. No, it's
Does
not.
the original not have Tom Cruise?
Right, the original does not.
Okay,
have Tom
so
Cruise.
then I know I'm on the right track. I can't remember the name of it.
It's a movie about pool.
Yeah, it's about billiards.
Oh, that's A Color of Money.
Color
Yeah,
of Money.
Color
Yes.
Money.
Number 4 from this weekend is a Disney movie that they re-released that you cannot find anymore.
Song of the South.
Song
Yeah,
of the South.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, what is that?
Song of the South.
It used to be one of my favorites, and I had all kinds of books. And it's
Now being quiet.
now being
erased.
questioned about it.
It's been erased for like 30 years now.
Why?
It's been canceled because they say it's racist.
Romanticizing the Deep South antebellum slavery.
It's a no-no.
Number 3 is a huge hit for the year. It is a fish out of water story.
Splash.
Not really about fish.
Okay, never mind.
It's a fish out of water story about a guy from down under
Crocodile Dundee.
coming to New York. Correct.
He was like
Wow.
the most famous person of that year.
Yeah,
Yep.
Paul Hogan
Yeah, I remember
was
that.
huge. That movie was in theaters for like 18 months. That thing
Forever.
was a monster.
Now that's a knife.
Number 2 is an animated movie that's not a Disney film that we've talked about on this show before, but
Is
I
it
know
because Pixar just came out?
no,
No.
it's not a Pixar movie. It's a Don Bluth film.
Oh,
Can you give me some more?
Um,
Some of the voices.
Don
Rangers.
DeLuise is in it.
I don't know
well,
who
he's
that
in
is.
a couple.
I know, but that's a good. I want to say this is Don Bluth's second film. Spielberg.
Is it a bunch of cats in it?
Aristocats?
Cats are involved, but they're not the star.
I feel like there's fish.
Is it-
Like he's a fish.
Oh,
or something.
it's an American Tale.
It is an
It's
American Tale.
Oh, I love
Okay.
that. Oh
Yeah.
my God, I love an
Number
American Tale.
number
Cats
two.
are
Trifle.
Because there's no cats in America.
There are no cats in America. Exactly. And number 1, of course, was Star Trek 4. All right. So the top movies of 1986. Star Trek does make the top 10, but not the top 5.
Okay.
Where does Star Trek fall?
8.
6.
7.
I'm also thinking 7.
7 it is.
Look at you guys.
All right. So do we want to go from 5 to 1 on this as well?
I like to go from the bottom up.
All right.
Yeah.
Number 5 is a movie that we have covered on this podcast.
Highlander.
No.
No.
But Highlander's on this list, but it's not in top 5.
No.
In fact, Highlanders is 109th from this year.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was a box office
Yeah.
bomb.
Yeah, it didn't do well.
It did well on
It's
cable.
a true cult movie.
Yeah, it did well on cable. That's why I got
saying
sequels.
What is
True.
the movie we did? Was it Little China?
Big Trouble
in Little China.
Big Trouble in Little China, also on the list, but at 72.
Jesus, I'm remembering so many though.
I'm
know.
really proud of
Yeah.
like right year, and also you haven't said Toy Story once. I'm just
well, that was 95.
Yeah.
We're in 86.
all right.
Scotty,
So
keep up.
all right. So no, this is a sequel.
Uh-huh.
It's a
Okay.
science fiction sequel. The first one's a horror film. This one is not.
Back to the Future.
Oh.
Also on this list, but not that high.
Wait.
Also 1986. God, 3 in a row.
I don't know what to do with you right now.
Who is this person?
I
What have
don't
done with our
know.
Justina?
Jesus. So this is not a horror movie?
Yeah, this is not a horror.
But the first one was?
The first one's a horror film. This one's not.
Who was a sequel after a horror film that's not a horror film?
I don't know.
I
I don't
mean-
remember. And
Uh,
we did
Hocus
it?
Pocus?
Yes, we've done it.
Yeah.
I'll get it's a. This one's
Did we do the horror
They're both
or not
science fiction
horror
films.
version?
Okay, Scotty, we do a lot of sci-fi.
yeah.
Can
the
you give
first
me
the
one
first one's
actor?
horror. Bill Paxton.
Oh.
I don't know who that is.
Alien
Ghostbusters.
too.
Oh.
Aliens. Yes.
Yeah.
Aliens?
Aliens.
Yeah, because technically
Aliens.
there's horror elements,
How is
but
this
it is
not
not
horror?
a horror film. It's more of an
Aliens
action
is a science
film.
fiction action film. With
But it
horror.
was kind of scary.
There's some scary stuff in it, but it's an action
It
film.
has
It's
horror.
not the same slow
No.
burn.
Like,
as the-
yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
Alien is a haunted house movie in space.
Yeah.
It is. It is. This is still kind of scary. That's why I was like,
That's where we start to get into subgenres, and it gets.
Number 4 is Rodney Dangerfield's biggest movie,
back to school.
Back to School.
Yeah.
Number 3 is a sequel to of a movie of a guy you don't like.
Oh, there's a lot.
There's
Oh,
a
this
few.
guy would be Tom Cruise.
No.
Oh, it's another guy I don't like?
Yeah. In fact, you call this guy. I'll use the Uncle Henry appropriate.
Lethal
word.
Weapon 2.
The Uncle Henry appropriate word of pansy. But you
What?
you don't call him a pansy.
I remember us having this conversation.
We've had this conversation before for the same
Yeah.
Yes,
reason.
and then you've had to
Um,
like break it down. And then she's always like, "Yeah, I don't like that guy."
Absolutely, that's what.
But
you-
I don't remember who
I
the guy
know.
is.
Now I'm trying to think of it as, and as soon as you say it, I'll be like, oh yeah. It's
Um,
not on my radar. That's how much I don't like him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you've watched him recently a lot, actually, over the last couple of years.
And it's not Tom Cruise.
Who
But
do I-
there's things that she likes him in. Is that correct?
No,
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 I
Grace,
like
no.
I
She
like
does-
Tom Cruise
No,
movies.
I don't.
I don't like
I
Tom Cruise.
I don't think she.
I don't like this guy at all.
I don't think she likes
apparently.
the. She hates the
Oh.
character.
I remember.
She hates the character.
It's
It's
Oh, I know
it's a-
this.
it's a
This
s-
is stupid Karate Kid. That little. Excuse me. Yes, I'm not saying what
she
I call it
hates
for
Daniel
real.
LaRusso.
Daniel LaRusso is terrible. I cannot stand Daniel LaRusso. Cannot stand him.
But yeah, it's
He
part-
deserved
Why though?
every beating he got. And
Every
in
time it
real
comes up,
life,
like-
and let me tell you, in real life, Cobra Kai would have whipped his butt all over the place. I could whip his butt easily. Daniel LaRusso is terrible. Terrible.
Tell us how you really feel.
And it's his fault. All the trouble he got was his own fault because he was messing with Johnny's girlfriend at the very beginning, and then he started pranking on him. And just because that they like retaliated, he got all upset about it.
I think they took it a little too far.
I don't care. He deserved it, little punk.
Number 2 is the aforementioned Crocodile Dundee
Mhm.
because it was huge. Monster. It was a monster movie. And number 1 is
Back to the Future.
Top Gun.
Top Gun. Top Gun. yeah.
Easily Top Gun.
The other movies that we have covered on this in the Catacombs, 45 was FX, which Drew and I have done on Catacombs. 47 was Back to the Future. 72, Big Trouble in Little China. And 109, Highlander.
I thought we did effects on this one. I remember doing
No,
that one.
we did that. We did that on
Okay.
Catacombs.
Mhm.
And that was Star Trek 4.
There you go.
Final thoughts. And would you recommend it?
No. I would not.
I think it's a fun movie. If you just want to sit down and watch something fun, sure.
Oh no. I don't recommend Star Trek to anybody. Ever. But if they have
Just as
to
a
watch
rule.
one, number 4.
You're like, it's got whales.
It's a throwaway. You don't have to know anybody.
Uncle Henry?
If you're a fan of Star Trek, you got to watch it. If you're not a fan of Star Trek, skip it.
If you're looking for a weird, zany 80s comedy,
Yeah.
I think that it does its job.
I kept waiting for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to show up.
Oh, that'd be great.
But and if you're trying to finish, if you're watching the movies and you're trying to finish that trilogy, you have to watch it. But it's
For
it's
real?
fine. Again, it's a
Yeah.
good solid B for me. I didn't feel like I was wasting my time when I saw it. I was entertained, and so it was fine.
Caleb?
Oh, I said for similar reasons, I just recommended it. It's a fun movie.
I mean, I watched it with my husband,
it's-
therefore I don't feel like I wasted my time because he
And
loved
yeah,
it.
he had a good
Yeah.
time.
And it was fun watching him. He loves it. He loves Star Trek.
Yeah.
Even the bad Star Trek, he can find good in. That's just the way he is. He loves Star Trek.
Yeah.
So it was fun watching it with my husband. He finds joy in all of it.
Well, Uncle Henry, thank you for coming and hanging out with us.
Well, it was uncomfortable, but it was nice seeing you all again.
It was nice seeing you.
Was it?
I'm sorry they were so inappropriate for you.
We would love to have you back.
Well, all right. Promise me that you'll drop that one segment, and I'm here.
We'll talk to Steph about that.
What? That is, I mean, I'm good with dropping it. You told me, hey, we need to have this. You make sure you pick your people for that segment. And I'm like, okay.
We do it every week.
We do it every week.
Except when we forget.
However, it is fun. I kind of like to watch
It's,
Uncle
it's,
Henry
it's actually a
squirm.
segment we put in the original show, the first season, and then dropped it. I forgot about it like after 3 episodes in.
We can pick a kids movie because that's really uncomfortable.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't
Play
do
that
it with
game.
kids, movies.
movies. So-
Is there a
Okay.
kids movie that you really love?
Not really, but
But
We'll
we'll
see.
do
I'll
one
find
just so
that's a Pixar
The Sandlot,
movie?
maybe.
Because
The
it just came
Sandlot.
out this year.
I won't do it for The Sandlot.
That's a weird one. That's a weird pull.
Well, I mean,
Don't
'cause
we still have
I
to
mean-
do like
I
was
mean-
it Gremlins
I'm thinking
or something?
of movies that
We've
are
done Gremlins.
fun and
We have done
entertaining.
it already?
Yeah,
Right.
you've done. Yeah, you,
Just kidding.
We did a Christmas
Yeah, I remember that.
2019.
What a
yeah.
Christmas Story?
Oh no, we did Gremlins. too.
Gremlins.
Oh, Gremlins is fun.
Yeah, we did Gremlins.
I thought we had, no, Goonies is the one we haven't done
I love
yet.
the Goonies.
See, I won't do Goonies. I'll tell you what, because A, I don't like it. B, Monster Squad's way better.
Monster Squad is good.
Monster Squad's better. Monster Squad
might
is
have you back
better.
for the Goonies.
Except that.
I have never watched
It's not
the Goonies.
that. I'm not even trying to compare
He's
the
never
two.
seen
The
the
fact that
Goonies.
you don't like Goonies. I love
So
the
he
Goonies.
should come back for the Goonies.
But you-
Because
but
I've
you're-
never seen the Goonies.
Oh, you're a person that famously has not watched movies.
I know. You can be my partner in crime.
Okay. Yeah, I've never watched.
You've
the
never
Goonies.
seen Goonies?
I'm an adult. Why would I watch the Goonies?
Why would he
I
watch
love
the
the
Goonies?
Goonies. You were a little younger back then.
Were you young enough though?
No, I wasn't young enough.
A
No,
gentleman
you-
never
you-
reveals
the
his
only
age.
the
I
only
won't.
reason for an adult to watch a kids movie is if they're raising kids themselves,
Sorry,
or
Scotty.
if they're mentally
feel that
like
burn?
a child.
But if you watch the
Never.
movie, then you could do the truffle
Uncle Henry,
shuffle.
his brother.
I'm sorry.
Don't you
gonna put
think
that
that
on a
Uncle
pizza
Henry
too?
should do the truffle
What
shuffle?
now?
No.
That sounds like that pizza. If they had to name that pizza, they would name it the Truffle Shuffle.
I'm thinking Uncle Henry would be great at doing the truffle shuffle.
No.
I don't know what that means, but I'm sure I wouldn't like it.
No, you wouldn't.
No. Uncle Henry, how can folks find you?
Listen to 95 KSJ Monday through Friday, beginning at 10 in the morning, and you'll listen to me.
All right.
95 KSJ.
And you also can find him on iHeartRadio.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so,
And don't you have a Friday night?
No,
Not anymore?
not anymore.
Really?
Well, you're always welcome to hang out with us.
Well, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
This is Scotty saying this is our contribution to the multiverse. Go out and make yours.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.